Alright, welcome back everyone. It's David, aka Faramir 4731. I'm bringing you a matchup on the Provence map. This was done back in March of 2017. This was one of me and Luke 15's early battles together. See, we're going up against the rocket troops of the American and French player, and they are going to come up to the hill to camp and doing this old school battle just to show you some of the where I've come, how far I've come in playing, and just to give you confidence if you're a newer player, to show you how far you can come in a short amount of time. So this is just under a year that this battle took place. And you can see here I make a lot of terrible mistakes. One of them going up against rocket troops because they don't really do much of anything. But I do make quite a few mistakes. But you can see here I am, as I have always been, a very aggressive player. I'm going to push up my militia quite quickly. And this is honestly not a great move. But it does push my opponent into kind of a more aggressive stance, and causes him to shoot himself in the back with his tier lures, but really wasted these two units right off the quick part of the battlefield, and yeah, not really great. Pretty lousy, as a matter of fact. But I was able to luckily push the opponent into advancing because he sees the early wins as a confidence builder, so he's going to start pushing up into me, and he's really not in a position to be pushing because his lights are behind him, and he is going to be kind of caught off guard. I'm going to be able to light him up with my lights as he's pushing his tier lures to the front, and I am going to be reallocating my lights and pushing two of my lines to the top of the hill, why I can keep shooting on them with my two lights at the bottom. And you can see Luke is going to be positioning his lights next to mine, and we are going to be able to use our lights as a pivot point to surround the American forces. Luke's already taken the top of the hill. You can see in the background with those light dragoons, and he's going to start basically pincer in on these American player at the top of the hill. You can see I'm allowing my lights to get shot up by his line infantry, which isn't a great move on my part. And yeah, so, but you can see here Luke, he was definitely a really good player at this time. You can see his light dragoons. He was definitely the Swedish player back in the day, and he loved playing as Sweden, and he definitely laid the pain with them, and was a really good player with them. So yeah, again here I'm just continuing to whittle down my opponent, and I definitely did understand the terrain, so I'm going to be able to push my lights behind. You can see my lights can shoot over the tops of my men's heads, whereas where his were positioned behind, he was shooting into the back of his. So not always am I great at this, but you know, definitely I know certain spots in the battlefield where you can take advantage of that aspect. You know, there's definitely several terrain maps where you're allowed to be able to do that. You can see the tier lures behind where I'm at. I can shoot down the hill and not shoot my men in the back. So there's definitely spots on this map where you can take advantage of that. And you can see here my opponent's going to do basically all out suicide charge, and I'll be able to quickly mop him up as Luke has mopped up the American player on the bottom of the hill and made pretty short work of him. So we were definitely quite the team back in the day. I was more of the blunt force trauma, and he was kind of the eyes and ears of the battlefield. He had a great vision for the battlefield, and was extremely good at flanking an opponent. and while I provided the holding and the basic punch of the army, he was the decisive blow in a lot of our battles, and we definitely made a great team, in a lot of our battles. So, definitely we did lose some, but we won way more than we lost, and it was a great team up. He was my first partner, and we had a lot of fun playing on Provence. It was our favorite map back in the day, and yeah, it was definitely we were we were to be reckoned with if anybody went against our combination. And yeah, it was definitely lots of fun back then. This is what kept me pushing into playing more games on multiplayer, and instead of staying in campaign. And definitely Luke, he had that personality to keep pushing you into playing. And so yeah, that was basically the starts of getting me to play more multiplayer from campaign. And yeah, never looked back. So had a lot of fun with this one. I hope you enjoyed this look back into the past. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.